Hey guys, and welcome to day 8. Day 8 is where you experience the exciting reality that all of the things that you thought were totally unattainable or that you couldn't have until you were much older or richer or more famous or better in some way, you can start experiencing that stuff right now. This is the day when people realize that the feeling that they're after is something that they can move toward. See, getting what you want out of life is not a matter of all of a sudden having it. It's a matter of moving toward it, making small steps and small changes that move you toward what you want and away from what you don't want. So if what you're wanting is more time freedom, then you can just make a small step. For example, putting your foot down about overtime at your job and saying, no, thank you, that's not for me. I'd prefer more time freedom. It's very easy to move toward what you really want once you know what it is. And taking this GPS analogy a little bit further, it doesn't really matter which road you go down. You will always be redirected to what you actually want, to where you want to go. If you take a wrong turn, your car will redirect you to get you to your destination. It might take a little longer. It might be down a slightly windier road. There might be a little bit more traffic. But the fact is, you'll still get there. And you don't need to get there all at once. This isn't a teleportation machine. I am not here to teach you how to teleport yourself directly to what you want. I am here to teach you that you can make very small steps every day toward what you want, and you will eventually discover that you are much closer. You'll also discover that maybe what you thought you wanted isn't exactly what you wanted at all. I remember when I came back to the United States from Costa Rica, and I thought that the thing that I wanted to do was be a public speaker, because I was finding my voice and I was having a lot of fun, talking to people, and I had been running some financial classes down in Costa Rica, and I enjoyed being in front of a crowd. And so I thought, well, why don't I just talk about my experiences? It's eye-opening. It's beneficial. I learned a lot. I have perspectives that most people don't have. So I'm going to go be a public speaker. And the first thing I did was not go and try and book the stadium so that I could go speak there. The first thing that I did was I just started telling people that I was a public speaker. And when I started telling people that, they started telling other people that, and eventually I started getting public speaking gigs, up to the point where I spoke in front of 400 people. And when I did that, I came to realize that I really didn't want to be a public speaker, that I thought it was fun, and that I was very entertained by it, but it was just like an itch, and I scratched the itch, and then I decided that it wasn't really for me, and I can go do other stuff. So I lived the dream, I test drove the dream, and then I just sort of moved on. There was a time when the Tesla P85D had come out. That's that insanely fast electric car that actually had insane mode. And so I thought to myself, well, I really want one of those, because I see people just hooting and hollering when they put the gas pedal on that, and I want that. So instead of just saving $120,000 or figuring out how to finance one, I went to the dealership and I drove one. And I put the foot down and I hooted and hollered, and it was a blast. And I probably used profanity because holy crap, that car is fast. But after I did it, I realized that that really isn't what I want. I don't want a 7-seat sedan. I'm a little sports car kind of a guy. I like sports cars. And on the other end of the spectrum, I like Land Cruisers. I like cars that are kind of like big and bulky and slow, and tractors that you drive down the road. And I like little zippy things that aren't even necessarily that fast, but they go around a corner really quick. I recognized what I wanted by trying out stuff that I thought that I wanted. So the assignment today is to take what you actually want and make a list of what it would take, what you could do to get there today. What could you do that would move you closer to it today? I wanted to own a Tesla, so excuse me. I wanted to own a Tesla, so the very first thing that I did was locate the Tesla dealership. It was really, really easy. And simply like looking at the Tesla dealership on my phone was enough to give me a little bit of that feeling that I craved about owning the Tesla. And then going there and talking to the sales staff and asking them questions and sitting in one and experiencing it gave me a lot more of that feeling that I was looking for. And putting the hammer down on that thing, holy crap, is that exhilarating. I would do that again any day. But in doing it, I realized I didn't necessarily want to own one. And so the dream just evaporated, and that's okay. It's okay for your dreams to evaporate. It's like you're walking down a path in a forest, and you can see all the way in the distance, there's like this city on a hill that you want to get to. And as you walk, you realize that it isn't exactly what you thought it was going to be. As the trees kind of clear out, you realize that maybe that's not the city you want to go to. And that's okay. It's important to revisit this stuff. It's important to always be aware that your desires are changing. Even your core desires, even desires like to be loved, the way that you want to experience them changes. And that's fine. Accept the fact that it changes. And just kind of course correct a little bit. And keep moving toward the thing that you want. Whatever it is. So the lesson for today is figure out from yesterday what it is that you really want, and then come up with some really, really, really easy to do action steps to get you just a little bit closer to the thing that you want, to the experience that you want, to the feeling that you want. Figure out something that you can do today. Figure out something that you can do that takes like maybe a week of planning. Figure out something that you can do that takes a month to get it done, a year to get it done, 5 years to get it done. In my experience, people vastly, vastly overestimate what they can do in a year, and they vastly underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So I always, whenever I want to do something really big that I think might take a whole lifetime to do, I just make it my 5-year intention. And I find that I generally get it done in like 3 or less, sometimes only like 8 months. It's pretty crazy. So for you, now that you know what you want, what are you going to do to get there today? And you don't need to get all the way there. You just need to move a little bit in the right direction. All right? So tell me in the comments, what are you going to do today? How are you going to move toward what you really want today? All right? And I will do the same. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.